Okay, it's been 4 hours. It took a little longer than the 3 hours that I anticipated for this turkey to cook, but it may have been more frozen inside than I had thought. But anyway, the turkey is done, and I have put it on a platter for a traditional, elegant presentation. You'll see it later after I've taken it apart and shown you a contemporary casual presentation. So our elegant presentation includes bell pepper tops and a bell pepper in his cavity and kale. Now don't worry that this stuff is not going to go to waste, but we're just doing it now for presentation. You know the little white things, the little frilly things on the end of a leg of a turkey? Well, the reason is, of course, because a well-done turkey is going to pull away from the legs. There's just no way of getting around that. The reason why you can see so many beautiful pictures on magazine covers is because, here's the secret, they don't bake their turkeys. They take them raw and they paint them. So a real turkey that's really been cooked is going to have a frill or just those old bare naked legs showing out there. But that's what we do in the food industry. This is just curly kale, and it's not going to go to waste. I'm going to put it in a pan, and I'm going to just have steamed kale. So I'm just going to go ahead and take that kale off now. The next thing I'll be doing is cutting this turkey into slices. Oop. My little dog, who likes to imitate Hoover vacuums, is finding that piece I just dropped in the floor, and she's not unhappy at all. We'll set this aside for now and let it get a little cooler so I can handle it. So now we're going to do the giblet gravy. This is the pan that we cooked the turkey neck and the livers up in, and see what little amount of fat there is on that? That's amazing that there's no more fat than that. And so we've got about 2 cups of broth in there. And this is broth that I poured out of here. It's still too hot to handle. But you can see that the fat has come up. So in all of that turkey, can you imagine that that's all the fat? Look at the percentage of fat versus good clear stock we have. So we're going to use a cup of that. In here, I have 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. So we're going to turn the cornstarch on and mix 1.5 cups of half and half. You start off cold with the cornstarch and the milk. You turn it on and stir that up and get the cornstarch good and stirred up. And I started it on high. Now I'm going to use, I would rather use this nice rich stock that came out of our roasting pan, because it's got those flavors of celery and onion and all of that in it. So we're just going to go in here and dip out about 1.5 cups of that. So we've got 1.5 cups of half and half and 1 cup of this good rich broth. We're going to let the cornstarch start to dissolve and mix with that milk. And then we're going to use about 1 cup of the liquid that the livers were cooked in. So that'll give us 3, maybe 4 cups of stock that we're going to make gravy with. Here's 3 of the boiled eggs that I had started earlier this morning. We're going to put those in here. Here's that turkey neck. I picked as much of the meat off of the bone as I want to get off, because it's still, there's a little sharp one right here on the end that if you're not careful you can get one of those little nibs of bone off. So that's as far as I'm going to go with that. But it's going to go over here in this pan, and this is what we're going to start cooking for 24 hours now. There's still about ½ inch of accumulated liquid in there, and the onions and celery. Okay, here's the turkey meat and the livers and the heart and the gizzard. Wait, let me tell you something different first. Let's just make plain gravy first, because not everybody likes giblet gravy. So we'll do that like that. And then for those of us who love the giblet gravy, I'll come back and add this at the very last. So you'll have 2 ways of doing your gravy. So you just start stirring it up. I've got my little taster spoon, and I'm going to start tasting it already. It needs more salt and pepper. So here I finally get to use my Granny B peppercorn. Got one stuck down in there. He's not wanting to wiggle. Okay, we're going to sample it again. That's better. I'm thinking I'm going to put a little more salt with it too. Plain salt. This time I used my homemade salt and pepper blend, but I'm just going to use plain salt this time. I use the sea salt. I think it's a little more healthy for you. I just added 1/4 teaspoon. We'll see what that does. That's just about right. And oh, that's so rich. You can taste that. You can taste the flavor of the turkey. You can taste the flavor of the liver, even though it does not taste like liver. But just the richness of that liver. You can taste all of those seasonings that we coated on the turkey to start with. And it's already beginning to get thick. Cook this to the thickness that you like. Pay close attention to the bottom so it doesn't stick to the bottom. It hasn't quite come to a boil yet, but by the time it comes to a boil, it will definitely be on its way to being gravy. Oh, it's just getting better every time I taste of it. Okay. There's a little bit of stickiness on the bottom. See if I can do a better job with the whisk now. Okay, it's just beginning to have some bubbles around the edge. So this, by the time it does that, your cornstarch has really done its job. So I'm going to turn it down to low now, because I don't want it getting any thicker. And I'll show you the plain gravy. Look at that. Plain turkey gravy. So now we're going to add the giblets. And we're going to add 3 boiled eggs, chopped. beautifully boiled eggs without any green ring around them. I'm going to have to take this off the stove. My husband is holding our little puppy, and she is very interested in what I'm doing. The smell has been unbelievable in this house today. She knows something special going on. Okay. 3 boiled eggs are going in the gravy. We're just going to give that a quick stir. Okay. And there's the giblet gravy. Does that look wonderful? I'm going to dip some of it up in a little dish so you can see it. So here's your plain gravy. Here's your giblet gravy. I am going to go ahead and slice a piece of this turkey and pour some gravy over it just so you can be jealous. I'll bring it back over here so you can at least see me do this. We're going to make that first slice into there, and a nice corner slice. Another slice. Can you see how moist that still is in there? Just beautiful. This piece, I'll just put the plain gravy on. This piece, I'll put the giblet gravy on. And there you have it. The next time you see this turkey, it will be sliced, pulled off the bones, separated into white and dark. I will have weighed it to know how much yield we have, and all of those bones are going to be put back in here, and we're going to cook that for 24 hours. So this has been episode 2, or part 2 of this one, and I hope you like it. Hope you come back for part 3 when I show you how to make the broth.